objection on this part.
Okay, I'll consider that request. Thanks, Sai. So yeah, we're discussing about baselining, right? So baseline between two versions, we'll be comparing it. Benchmarking is nothing but it can be two things. It can be a industry level standard, or it can be a for example, I didn't do any testing till now. No testing has been done. No testing has been done. I'll do my testing for the first time, performance testing. Then I'll make it as a benchmark. Then I'll compare. Okay, what happened with the benchmark? Then I'll make it after that I'll make baselines. So parallelly for few versions I'll still compare with benchmarking if benchmark response times if it is that good and see how I'm progressing. And stress, volume, endurance, load and spike we will see it afterwards. But yes, there is a little bit difference between each and everything. So these are the main or very basic things which are marked in yellow, very basic things. And we'll start with these one tools and access. In this instance, we know that we are using LoadRunner as we are in LoadRunner classes, right? So that one we'll be knowing. Other than that, are we using any other tools? Are we using Jira for monitoring? What are we using? Is it Grafana or else for CI/CD? Are we using any Azure or any other Jenkins or something like that? So all these things will be getting it. And so why we need this? So we need this for an agreement, right? So everything should be in paper. So because of that, if so typically if you're less experienced guy, all these things are being taken care by your leads or managers. If you are like 6+ or 7+, you need to take care of these things as well. So those tools, for example, LoadRunner, we need license, right? So we'll say I'm going to test 1,000 users. We should get license for 1,000 users. That's how the LoadRunner works, or any other a platform where we need to test like Jmeter or performance. That's how it works. Okay, and depending on protocol as well. Yeah, LoadRunner, Jmeter are the basic two main important tools. LoadRunner first comes first, then Jmeter. Now the gap is little bit reducing, but both are good competitors. LoadRunner is an open source and Jmeter is an sorry, LoadRunner is a licensed and Jmeter is an open source tool. And timelines and roadmap. This is very important because once to set a realistic expectation is important. Second thing is to meet those expectations is very important. So for example, I'm saying it will be taking 15 days for all the seven uh, you know performance testing life cycle: requirement gathering, test plan preparation, design and enhancements, doing the testing, monitoring and reporting. For example, it takes 15 days. Okay, I'll say that. And I need to say first day what I will be doing, second day what I will be doing, third day what I will be doing. Then with that, even I'll prepare a report for you and I'll give you as a template. But once with every session or anything you see that it, for example, it may breach those 5 days. For example, in the first day, I said enough for I'll be gathering. But for example, I have this many lists, right? I'll be having plenty other depending on the project, right? So I won't be getting all these things in one day. So what the disclaimer I'll give if any requirements are pending from the client side, right? From the project team, not client. We don't say client side. We don't take the name, but from the project team. What we'll do, the timelines may vary or may be pushed depending on how much time it took. Okay, so that's how we should be giving realistically. Sometimes people will come and ask you why you need these many days. Then you need to justify. They'll ask just to see whether how confident you are, right? Okay, just tell them this is. I'll be telling you what you need to tell as well. But when we are doing the test planning, we need to tell those things and we need to kind of agree with them. What is the complexity percentage? So depending on the complexity also. So for example, when they are showing you the applications, the walkthrough and all. So for example, yesterday we saw this application. So if non-IT guys, what will happen for non-IT guys? I'm saying they'll give an application like this and they'll show you all the flows. Typically, it's called a walkthrough, right? Or KT, knowledge transfer. What typically any person will give, either a business BA will give or a functional guy will give or a developer will give, depending on the person. So those people, what they will see is they will explain each and every aspect to you, especially functional people. Okay, they need to test lot of hundreds of test cases, and it's important for everything is important for them. But for us, it's not like that. We will only consider which comes under three main categories. Okay, first category is business critical transactions or business critical pages. Okay, critical to the business. Second thing is frequently used. Right. For example, settings. I won't be using settings in Facebook, for example, every time. Only 2-3% of the people for a whole the application they'll be using. So then I don't test uh, the settings app, because in performance testing we can't test anything and everything. We should be picky when we are doing it, and which are revenue generated. Those revenue generated might not be using by lot of users, but we should be concentrating on them as well, because one only the revenue generated is makes sense when in the business perspective, right? So whatever the users are coming, they don't care. They only care the revenue, for example. So these kind of three things we need to consider when anyone is giving you the workflow. So you need to say which one is critical. If this is not critical, you need to note it down. How many users, for example, will use contact us page or popular items. This is very simple application, but if it's a complex application, there will be a lot of other things. And data provisioning. So who will be providing us the data? Is it a functional team? Because it is very, very important to have a POC. For example, I I think people who have worked or not, and I face a lot of times that, for example, they'll say, ask any developer. I'll go and ping them. They say, Krishna, no, I'm not, I'm busy. Ask someone else. Ask someone else. So it will be keep on going like that. Have a POC. It can be a manager or project manager. It can be a manager or lead from functional team or development team or any other team. If anyone is not responding, you can go to them. Okay, and they'll make it happen. So definitely know these kind of things, because it will save a lot of time for you, because when the performance testing comes, right, when it comes at the end. So everyone will be very eager to know what are the results looks like. So even single day is wasted, there will be a lot of pressure for you, because before exactly go live, they'll keep the performance testing, because at the all the development will be dragging in any project to the end. So there will be a lot of pressure on us. So we need to act smartly and kind of build our infra smartly, so that there will be no time waste. What are the expected intermediate deliverables? So we discussed yesterday. For example, uh, how I do is sometimes if the client is very strict, or project team is very strict, what I'll do, I'll daily send my updates, CSR, and once the week is done, I'll send my WSR, weekly status report and daily status report. So in that, I'll include what I have done today, what are the issues I have faced, and what I'm going to do tomorrow. And the next day, what will I do? I will, say what has been completed by today, what is the issues I faced, and what I'm going to do tomorrow. If there is any flags need to be raised, I will raise a flag, and in that intermediate deliverables, I will make as a note, or I'll keep the record in mail, that if there is any issues comes in the future, I'll have a record that I send you mail, you didn't reply, it's on you now, something like that. Okay, for baselining and benchmarking. So, is there any testing has been done previously or not? So, this is a small thing. How the performance testing should be how many performance testing cycles should be executed. For example, cycles means here how many number of rounds. For example, take it as a load testing. Okay, load testing will be conducted for 1 hour. Okay, users will be peak users. Users will be peak users, and pretty much it. Okay. Rotation will be connected with one hours. We'll test with peak users. What is meant by peak users means in a whole year. Okay. Take 1 year. In that 1 year, take 1 month. 1 month means which we are having more number of users. If, for example, in the whole year, June month we have got lot of users. Okay. June month. Then we'll say which day, for example, 20th, and which are the applications of maximum number of users. For example, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We have got something like 2,500 users. Okay, it's happening like that. It happened like this. Okay, so these 2,500 users is our peak user load for our load testing. But do you think for the whole year only 2,500 users came? No, it might be like 10 million of users. 10 million. 10 million people might have come the whole year. But we are not considering that. We are considering what is the peak user load that the application have seen in the whole year for in 1 hour of duration. With that, we'll consider. Okay. Now, how many number of rounds you need? You need 2 rounds, you need 3 rounds, you need 4 rounds. We'll be getting it. So basically, uh, 1 or 2 rounds is fine. But if there is any lot of abnormalities or inconsistencies between round one and round one and round two are not similar, we'll do round three also. Because we'll see with round one, round two are matching or round three is matching. Like for example, if I am clicking on this product, I'll open inspect. Manually I'm showing, but this happens with the help of performance testing tools. Okay. For example, I'm clicking on this product. This pop-up item is not popping up. Clicking on this category. Okay. For example, at the end of the thing, it will show sometimes. So, for example, cumulative of all these times. Okay. I'm doing it first iteration. This is the first iteration. For example, it took 1 second. And clicking on next time, it took 5 seconds. For example, all these requests. But there's a lot of disturbances there. I'll do one more time. I'll test my application one more time with a peak user load and see now. Now it's like 1.5 seconds or 1.8 seconds. Now I'll consider first and third round. First and third round. So we'll say we'll be going to do 2 rounds of 2 cycles of execution. If needed, we'll do one more. Okay. And these these are here I need to add one more point that for example some bottlenecks came or some issue came in the application. We're done our testing. The deadline is very near. We have got some issues. Then what will happen? Then the fixes going to we give our observations. The fixes will be done code level or infra level or network level. They'll do their changes and they'll come back again and we'll do our testing one more time. But but we should not we won't be able to do the testing immediately. If they say Vamsi, the in 15 minutes the deployment is done, run our test. It won't happen like that because we need to see whether our performance testing scripts are working fine or not. Right. We need to run with 1 or 2 users, we'll run with multiple iteration, we'll check is there any change in the request or is there any change in the code. We'll see in the data, we'll see and we'll validate. Then only we'll go and we'll test it. Okay. This might not be included in the document, but this is the mindset we need to give. We need to keep so that we can't hurry we can't do everything. We need to kind of push back or give the realistic, approach how we are going to do it. Okay. So coming to servers or configurations or infra, for example, in live in the production, the application is going with uh, in web two servers, app two and database. For example, 3 servers. They are going in this way. For performance testing, also we should have the same kind of environment. Performance testing also we should have same kind of environment, same kind of infra. But for development for functional, it is not needed because 1 or 2 people, maximum 10, 15, 20 people who are the developers or business users you are using, those people will use. But for performance testing, how many users we are using? We are using the peak user load, right? So in that case, we can't go with the lower environments. It should be equal to production. So then only we will be knowing perfectly what will happen when we run our tests, when the application goes live, right? After we are running our test, it will go live. We don't see any issues in the lower environment, but the same thing they go with a higher environment, they face the issues. So that should be also we should be taking care. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll make the they make the infra half because it takes money, right, to give the production like environment. So they sometimes they do half, but we should have a disclaimer that even though we are in our test approach, even though you are giving exactly half and we are reducing by our users by 2500 divided by 2, it doesn't work like that. It may or may not impact our test results when you're going to live. It should not it might not be the same. The disclaimer we need to give. Okay, we are going very high level, guys. If it is confusing, it's perfectly fine. Mm, okay, infra load balancing. These are all no need, but we just kept it as for one project I have given it. So infra difference between running. Okay, what kind of okay network no need infra CPU no need transaction for second workload is based transaction not period. What other tools we measure throughput time and batch run. And also, we need to also get at what time we need to run the test. For example, from 10 to 11, my peak users typically come at that point, right? I can't test like in the night or off business hours. Mostly, wherever the client is from, we'll try to target that particular window so that it will be realistic and it will be better with that kind of in that country. It will be better by doing for you to do in that way. And one more thing, for example, now we saw 2,500 users are observed are going in the last year, right? But what happens with the future? In future, definitely the users will be increasing, right? They won't reduce. So how to calculate the future user load? So that there is a small technique there. We'll see year-on-year growth for past 3 years. How much on average? How much is the percentage of increase in the last 3 years? If it is 10% or 20%, we'll add 10 to 20% for these users, and we'll run the execution for future load as well. So it can be multiple cycles. 250 percentage of 10 percentage of 2,500, then 10%, then 10%, total 3x load, or we can say 3 rounds of test we can do. That also will happen. That also it's possible. And one more important thing is geographical locations. Okay. So for example, typically when we are working from India, if there is a project in UK or in US or any other Australia, any other way, we are all having our application. We'll be able to access from here and everything is fine. We can use our, for example, it's not accessible. We'll use a VPN and we'll run it. But when we are running our tests, we need to have VMs or LGs, means load generators or virtual machines. We should have those things which are virtual, which are placed in that particular location, for example, through cloud or any other way, and we need to test through those missions. Then only, because there will be a 200 to 300 milliseconds of network latency will be there, and there will be a lot of issues also will be coming with that. If we are running a test from India location, we should run the R test from that particular location so that the results also will be realistic. That is one important. Site reliability engineering is no needed. Okay. So other than web applications, other than applications like this, are there any other applications we need to test? Any mobile application? If it is mobile, is it Android or iOS? BlackBerry was there OS, but now it's not there because not of people are not using. And is it in hybrid application? Hybrid can be with the web desktop and mobile also. I'll tell you an example. For example, few people are having experience with SAP here. So what happens with SAP, right? For example, sometimes you are using a web application, something like this, and you click on option, the SAP desktop application will pop up. Okay, this web application is fine, but the popping up application is a native application. Native means, for example, in a mobile phone, you are using apps, YouTube or Facebook, right? That is native. If you're using Chrome and writing www.google.com or facebook.com, that is web, mobile native. If you have any icons or any desktop installed application, it's called native. Whatever you're using in Google or any Edge, that is web. Okay, so it can be is it a hybrid application? Hybrid means yes, it is more complex. Okay, it will be more complex. And any network we need to simulate, or for example, one network. For example, Geo will have. We are not taking names, but some Vodafone will have some other bandwidth. For example, if you have Geo, you are in remote location, your bandwidth will be different. If you are having Vodafone, if you are in mountains, your bandwidth will be different. So with that low latency or low network coverage also, do you want to include those things will be included. So yeah, for that also we'll be gathering NFRs. Yes. So SAP and web we saw, right? So that will be multiple protocol also will be coming. That easily will be easily, and I think with only with compared to LoadRunner and Jmeter, it's only LoadRunner we can be able to do multiple type of applications. For example, hybrid applications and multiple protocol applications. We'll only able to do it through LoadRunner only. Jmeter, I think there is no option to do it. Okay, that is advantage of one thing, LoadRunner. Okay. So here, do you have any doubts, guys? So pretty much we before going to classes, we pretty much covered everything, but we'll go in depth one or two sessions on this NFRs as well. Any doubts, any questions?
I have one question,
Mhm.
not related
Please
to
go.
not related to this document. Just one question. I mean, I actually when I started my career using LoadRunner tool itself, I mean that time I use 11.50 or 52 version. I have started working
Okay.
on the for that. That time I can see the protocol advisor. One of the option is present. For example,
Hmm.
I don't know about the background about the application.
Hmm.
So using the protocol advisor option, uh,
Hmm.
uh, protocol advisor
You
option,
will be, yeah, you will see
yeah,
which kind of
is
protocol it
able to
will be.
identify the
Uh,
which protocol that kind of activity I can do. I mean, I have there is option to identify the protocol
yeah.
activity using the I mean which
Yes.
application going to be do performance testing. So that kind of option is available. That version I put some information I got. I think colleagues and that one is not present in nowadays. Now which present? I mean which version of they were using in current? I think open text is one of the resource part. Now it's all comes under open text, right? Under it was
Yes.
earlier it
Now
was
it's
HP.
open text acquired load runner. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, open text acquired LoadRunner. HP also be one of the partner. I mean, part partner is before. I mean, first on Mercury, then
It
HP got
owns
acquired.
HP owns
Yes.
yeah, basically HP owns LoadRunner previously for until 9.12.7 or 7.5, which I have used. I don't know after
Mhm.
open text, because after that I
Yes.
use majorly
So
Jmeter only. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
what is the replacement for the activity? I mean, right now the still protocol advisor option is present in current version of the LoadRunner, or do
Oh,
we have any
I'll
specific action
I'm
we have to
using
discuss with the yes.
yeah, I'm using old version only. I think 12.60 I'm using. But
Mhm.
if it is, I have heard it's been removed. If it is removed, there will be reason, because for every release they will be adding or subtracting features which will be needed and which will be not needed. So how I know that, for example, which protocol this application is made of? Okay, I can tell in both ways. With my experience, I can tell, or I can ask developer, is there
Yes,
any need for it? If
without
they're removing, it's
yeah.
fine for me, because I have never used it. There is there is no need for me to use it. Why we used to use that is, for example, you're recording the application is not getting the traffic is not getting captured. Then and the application is complex. It will be with multiple protocols. We don't know which
Correct.
protocol hitting where it's starting, where it's
Yes.
ending. Then we used to see.
Mm.
But now it's not that case. Yeah, that we can see what is the alternative for it. I'll make a note of it and I'll get it with you. I'll find it out for you. That's a good question there. Yeah. So any other doubts, guys? So performance testing is a specialized service. Means uh, it's kind of not a functional perspective, but business perspective. Uh, many eyes will be on us, and security as well. But security, it's good, but it's the extension of after performance. Even if you want to go into in future, if you want to go into security, performance will basically lay lot of basics for you, because mostly whatever the syllabus or subject you do with the performance testing, similar to that it will be there, but type of testing, the way you see the application is same, but the way you test is different with the security test. So these are the last two things before UAT will happen: secure performance and security. So any doubts, guys? So here I didn't say any interview questions and all, but there will be a lot of interview questions. For example, if the application if the application came, does that guy, the client doesn't know anything about performance testing, how will he carry out the performance testing? Here two things will happen: the technical aspect and the management aspect. There will be very wrong assumptions about performance testing that we need to clarify, and there will be time bound, or there will be, for example, high expectations, like every page we need to test, we need to test immediately, we need to test all sort of things. Those things won't happen. And for example, how we'll gather requirement, even if you see what is the throughput, they can't say. What is the peak user load, they can't say. Then you need to use tools like Google Analytics, something like that, and you need to gather on your own. What are the top pages in Google Analytics? Will have what are the top pages we have, what is the peak user load, what is the geographical locations, majorly all these kinds of things will be shown there. So those kind of tools we can, if we don't have, we can buy it and we integrate it, and for requirement manager we can close it off 1 or 2 days we can use, or else if they have few things like that, we can use those things as well. Those tools to calibrate or gather our requirements. Yeah, and this is very important that we should have a dedicated environment. And one more thing is, with dedicated environment, the code should be stable, the application should be stable. There should not be any functional or functional issues should be outstanding. Because, for example, if I'm clicking on these laptops, but I can see here, see how much time it's taking to load manually only, but I can see here mobiles. It's a functional issue. Typically, I'm saying, right, it's a functional issue. Or for example, if I'm clicking on the speakers, manually only it takes me like 5 to 10 seconds with single user, right? But with for multiple users, obviously it will be worst. So those kind of things we need to observe when we are going to the application. They'll give us the walkthrough. Then you need to go and for having that requirements document, or which phase we need to test, you need to go through the application. There you need to observe. With the open the inspect element, I'll show you how to use the inspect element. If you know, you know, but if you're not, I'll show you. This will make your life very easier, because before you are testing the application, you will be knowing how the structure looks like. For example, products. What is the URL? Okay, category. Here it is simple. Category 4 it's showing. Means that speakers will come under 4. But in the real time it will be other number. We don't have any payload because they get request. This should be our response. And we'll be seeing what kind of values we have here. For example, we have okay, these things. Okay. Yeah. So any other doubts, guys? So syllabus will be will, I think it's given, or else I'll share it by end of today or tomorrow. And LoadRunner, once the class starts, I'll get my laptop, because this requirement came very late for me. So I was in travel. I took in a hurry way. I'll get my LoadRunner. That LoadRunner package also will be given to you. You can install, and we are good to go from there. So before go into
Yeah,
the session, any
Krish,
doubts, guys? Yeah.
recently, yeah, can I
Yeah.
continue my side? Yeah,
So, yes,
you
there is
talking
some
about the
network delay.
LoadRunner version.
Yeah. Sorry, there is some network delay. That's why.
You're talking about the LoadRunner version. So
Uh, uh,
recently, I just registered myself using my mail ID, and
uh,
when I
my
enter into that,
official mail ID. Yeah.
official means
Nice,
currently I'm working Capgemini. So using that mail ID, I just registered myself. So when I
nice,
see in
nice.
that part, I have received one link. Based on that link, I started navigating the. So that time I could see some of the version for the
Huh,
LoadRunner. So let me
correct.
share you my screen.
Sure, please. Yeah.
Is able to see my screen, right?
Uh, Second. Yeah, I can see this. Yeah.
Is able to see my screen? Hello.
Yeah, I can see the teams. Yeah, I can see the team. Sorry. Yeah, some network delay. Yeah.
Oh, so when I started download, this is the version which I able to see, right?
Download.
This is the version which I downloaded. Let's
Hmm.
see. I mean, additional components also. I just added a community edition, additional component.exe. Is it fine?
Hmm.
I need to be standalone activity.
The additional this thing also fine. Even I tried using this one. I was not able to install it. That's why I'm using the older 12.6 version. But if you can download it, that's fine. If you are able to install it, that's fine. That's very good actually. Because
So this
what
is the
happened was, yeah, when I was using this, the way you are downloaded, when I downloaded like this, was not able to use the LoadRunner properly. Okay, it was no, there were a lot of disturbances was there because we are using like a student, right? Or it's not a paid version, so I didn't get the package completely. You can try to install that particular file which you have downloaded.
from this is all I can see, but I can see the link confirm emailization. I just download from that URL.
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
I could see multiple options. I mean, version by version, I could see multiple things.
hmm, hmm. Typically, community edition works. So try to install whatever you have downloaded, right? In downloads, you have that file. Right? Try to install that one and see.
I just download with external component, not
That's
only
also
load
fine.
Fusion.
That's also fine.
Ha
Yeah,
ha
that's
ha.
also.
So this is a additional
Double click on it.
component.
Double click on it. Let's see.
You
You
want
have
me to click?
permission
Sure,
So
to.
to the
You have
screen,
permission to install it.
hello, someone is saying something. Can you please
yeah, I can see the screen, the display.
Okay. Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
this one?
Yes, same here.
Yeah. I think some network delay.
Yes,
Sorry
yes.
for every. Yeah. Yeah. If you have
Okay.
permission, try to install it and see. You have an how to install video in
No,
YouTube
no.
also.
I see.
Or
See, when you start installation, you started giving the instruction, right? That time I will start to install. But something they
okay.
will explain. Something need to install before some prerequisites we
No, no,
required, right?
no prerequisite
Dot-
for no need, nothing is needed for LoadRunner. Jmeter, you
Actually,
need to
this
have Java. Yeah.
yes, yes. I'm talking about. See, in this mission, I think
Huh.
without I mean without getting permission, my administrator accountable install. I think if we start installation, I think administration permission will required. So I
Get
contribute
admin
install
access
in this
or
mission.
for this one, yeah, this one
No,
alone,
no,
and you can install it.
correct. So I need to raise the request for that. Okay, get the admin access. I think if
Yes.
I start installation, I will not able to install because they require admin permission.
Yeah.
Definitely, I will not
Most
able to install the system.
will.
So I will do my personal system. But
Okay.
uh, I think I just my clarification in this part. This version is enough to install my. I mean, this is
That's enough.
update thing for
Yeah.
LoadRunner. Uh,
Yeah. This is enough. And there will be multiple commit editions also.
uh,
What I did was I tried with like we have size of 1 GB, right? I tried with 3.5 GB of different setup without additional components. What happened with me? I was not able to install. Even I installed LoadRunner was not. It was crashing. So I was using 12.60 version. But the way it looks, everything is same.
Mhm. Okay,
Same thing.
this is fine, right?
It's fine.
Install the.
It's fine.
Oh,
It's fine.
okay,
Or
fine,
else
fine.
I will also once the class starts, I will also share one package. If this is not
Mhm.
working, around with that also you can use.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that, sir. Thanks for bringing that up. Any doubts before closing our session? Any doubts, guys? Okay, if you're a fresher or if you are doesn't have any issue, first time you are coming to IT, then also you can ask few questions. No, not an issue. Okay, I'll take it as no. Okay, thanks for your inputs, guys, today. Okay, we'll close our session today. And if there is anything, you can go back to HR and ask any doubts you have. If any one more session needed, if a lot of people are all opting it, I'm okay with coming for one more session, demo session. Or else, please, contact HR for any information you needed. Okay, I'm stopping recording.